After departing from St. John Port in Canada, the Titan submarine belonging to OceanGate began its journey. It is located in the North Atlantic Ocean, approximately 700 kilometers away from St. John, which is the location where it was required to dive in the ocean. The Titanic shipwreck lies deep below the ocean beneath the icy waters at the same location. This voyage began on Saturday, June 17, 2023. The plan called for Titan to depart at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. They discovered a problem with Titan prior to the scheduled dive. In spite of this, they made the decision to submerge Titan in the water, putting their lives in danger in the process. Despite being aware of the potential risk, why did they choose to accept it? The voyage consisted of a total of 5 individuals. One of them was Hamish Harding, the founder of Action Aviation. Additionally, he has accompanied Jeff Bezos on a trip to space. First on the list is Stockton Rush, who served as the Chief Executive Officer of OceanGate, an American corporation that develops submersibles for use in ocean tourism. An individual named Paul Henry, who was 77 years old and had previously been on the Titanic, came in 3rd place. In addition to being an expert on shipwrecks, he was also quite knowledgeable about the shattered pieces of the Titanic. And last but not least, the Pakistani business giant Shahzada Dawood, together with his son Suleiman, was a member of the same submarine. In the hours leading up to the dive on June 17th, Hamish Harding published his final post on the internet. Due to the extreme cold weather, Hamish Harding announced the postponement of their dive. "We plan to go diving tomorrow morning when we anticipate more favorable weather for a while." These 5 individuals were going to visit the famed Titanic wreck in order to achieve their dreams of seeing the shipwreck. Despite the fact that it sank in 1912, further efforts to locate it lasted for a number of years. However, this endeavor was not easy because of the terrible conditions that existed in the Atlantic Ocean. In 1985, researchers were finally successful in locating the wreckage of the RMS Titanic on the ocean floor. The Titanic had left many unanswered questions, and it was now time to uncover the answers. Specialists and researchers from a variety of countries organized dozens of expeditions to visit the Titanic wreck. James Cameron, a Canadian director, took a number of excursions on the wreckage of the Titanic in 1995. In 1997, he released a movie portraying the story of the Titanic. The Titanic's achievements filled the gaps that were still present. Because of the enormous excitement it generated, visiting the Titanic's ruins has become a dream for millions of people. Because tourists started visiting the shipwreck site, this achievement has now gone beyond the boundaries of simple research. Some claim that diving into the ocean's depths presents a more formidable challenge than space travel. The water's pressure is the primary factor contributing to this matter. The Titanic wreck lies 4,000 meters below the water surface. If you want to get a sense of how deep this is, you should look at the Burj Khalifa and realize that the debris of the Titanic is approximately 5 times lower than the height of the Burj Khalifa in the ocean. At this depth, the water pressure is 5,800 pounds per square inch. In a person's case, this pressure does not extend to every inch of their body. A single square inch is the most space that a whole elephant could occupy. At this point, you can determine the submarine's size as well as the amount of pressure it can withstand. The expedition aboard the submarine didn't get underway until noon on June 18, 2023. After an hour and 45 minutes, the mothership, Polar Prince, which was waiting above, lost communication with the submarine. Normally, it takes about 2 hours to reach the Titanic. However, they were unable to make contact with the submarine. If the time it was anticipated that the submarine would arrive at the Titanic was 2 hours, then the fact that it lost communication with the ship just 15 minutes earlier shows that it had already approached the ship in rather near proximity. When sunlight is able to penetrate the water, it is difficult for it to reach this depth. In addition, there is usually a very considerable amount of darkness here. The fact that the wireless signal loses strength at such a great depth is not unusual. Consequently, we did not originally take this situation very seriously. This entire journey took a total of 7 hours to complete. The time frame for their return was from noon until 7 o'clock in the evening. However, when there was still no communication with Titan by 7 o'clock in the evening and they did not return, the crew that was serving on the mothership began to feel worried. At 9:40 a.m., the Canadian research vessel Polar Prince initiated a search for Titan and subsequently contacted the United States Coast Guard to request assistance. The following day, which was Monday, ships and planes from the United States and Canada began a comprehensive search operation throughout the whole region. With the assistance of sonar scanning, they resumed their search not just on the top of the water, but also below the water's surface itself. In addition to that, they directed commercial vessels in the region to keep a watchful eye on the situation. Over the next 2 days, the search progressed, but there was no sign of Titan anywhere. However, there was an aspect of hope at that moment. It was about 6 a.m. on Wednesday, June 21st, when the search crew became aware of some sounds coming from the depths of the water. These sounds were able to be detected by underwater radar. After hearing the sound, they promptly dispatched ROVs to the area, but they were unable to locate Titan this time. The concern over Titan's permanent disappearance was intensifying at this point. 96 hours, or 4 days, was the maximum amount of oxygen that the submarine could store. A total of 3 out of 4 days had already elapsed by that point in time. However, none of the search teams from the United States of America, Canada, or France gave up. The search teams dispatched ROVs to the Titanic wreckage at noon on Thursday, June 22nd. The sight was really unbearable. At 3:48 p.m., the remotely operated vehicle, ROV, that was getting close to the Titanic's wreckage saw a piece of the Titan's tail lying just 500 meters away. The people who went to see the Titanic's ruins turned into the wreckage itself. News stories from all over the world have recently featured the wreckage. Given this, we can infer that the submarine couldn't withstand the water's pressure, leading to its explosion in the ocean's depths. This news sparked debate all over the world. There were a lot of concerns raised about the security of OceanGate. OceanGate's Chief Executive Officer Stockton Rush tragically passed away as a result of this incident. In 2021, he admitted that he was aware that he had violated a few rules and regulations during the production of Titan. He constructed the Titan using aviation-grade carbon fiber instead of the conventional construction material, steel. On the other hand, he chose carbon fiber over steel because he wanted to bring about new advancements in the industry and achieve his goal. Prior to launch, Titan underwent its first test, which consisted of pressures ranging from 5,000 to 10,000 psi, and it passed with no problems. Experts, on the other hand, hold the opinion that submarines are subject to interactions with thousands of different forces. Waves are responsible for both pressure release and water flow. Furthermore, given the darkness, it's plausible that a heavy rock or sea creature struck Titan. In any event, the carbon fiber hull was one of the factors that contributed to Titan's overall collapse. However, there was another explanation, that it already had cracks. It is true that in 2019, the Titan submarine was also carrying Carl Stanley, a businessman. At that time, OceanGate's chief executive officer also worked. In the latter stages of that journey, Carl reported that he heard a cracking sound coming from Titan's hull as they were declining. According to Carl, at one point, I was able to steer the submarine towards deeper water due to the cracking sound's increasing loudness. When he was in that situation, he did not pay much attention to the noise because he had complete faith in OceanGate's CEO, who had developed the submarine himself. On the other hand, following the accident, he stated to CNN that the sound could have been an indication that the Titan's body was unable to sustain the pressure of the water. If this is the case, then there is no question that cracks had already begun to appear in the hull of the Titan before the incident. In 2018, an OceanGate executive voiced their opposition to Titan's carbon fiber body, despite the fact that they had stated that this problem would only become apparent a few moments before the collapse of the submarine. In actuality, that is precisely what happened. At the depth where Titan collapsed, experts believe that it would have taken no more than 0.3 seconds for Titan to collapse and fall to the ground's surface. I have high hopes that you will enjoy and share this video. A huge thank you for the helpful comments you gave. In the next epic video, we'll catch up with you.